Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Morgan's Pop Talks, breaking down the latest in reality TV and pop culture. Oh my gosh, you guys, what's up? What's good? How's life? What an insane week it has been for me. Let me just begin to tell you, for someone who has lazy girl syndrome, how busy and stressed I have been in the past 7 days is just off the charts. First of all, fiance David, back in London. Womp, womp. Very sad. He had to go back on Monday. And the airport goodbyes are just always so dramatic, even if you don't want them to be dramatic because you're hugging and you're kissing and people are driving by and they're honking your horns. And it's like, okay, we get it. You're watching us. It's uncomfortable. Anytime you have to say goodbye to the person you love, it's like never fun. But I mean, the silver lining and what we said to each other while we were hugging at the Cleveland Hopkins airport is this is a good goodbye. You know why? Because next time David's in the United States, he'll be coming over to marry a girl in 90 days. So, all is well. All is good. If that's the biggest problem in life, it's good. Also, curveball, David and I looked at a house on Monday. I mean, literally my sister texted me Monday morning at like 8:00, and we're not in the market, as they say. I've learned a lot of real estate terminology in the past 7 days, but we're just thinking long term. Obviously, I've been in my apartment for 4.5 years. I love it. I love living in this retirement home. It's great. I have tons of space, and I pay like 1/3 probably of what everybody else in the city of Cleveland pays. Yes, it was built in 1912, but you make it cute, like my office, super cute, love it. But obviously when you get married and you think about life and kids, you start to think, I'm not going to be able to stay in this apartment forever. So I found this really cute house. We really liked it. It's in the price range. It's good. Applied to be pre-approved for a loan, which is a headache in itself. And I don't know what any of this stuff means, you guys. Like, they're like, you need this pay stub and this W-2 and this tax return. And the thing is, for a couple different reasons, I've had to upload my tax returns, which is like 1.5 million pages. Okay. First of all, for some fiance stuff, because immigration is like, well, you have to be above the welfare line because we can't have David come and him be, given U.S. government money. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I had to upload my tax return. And then they're like, oh, well, we need it to pre-approve you for a loan. How do you upload a full entire tax return? That's 1 million pages, it seems like. I mean, I know you can get digital copies, but it's just one headache after another. And then to just come to the conclusion that it's not the time. But it's not. Like, I want to wait until David gets here. When we're married, we'll be able to afford something a little bit bigger, even though the house was really nice. But it's just exciting. Exciting times. Exciting times. I Zoomed with Andy Cohen on Tuesday. Oh my days sakes almighty. You guys, when I tell you I cried. I didn't get to speak, but who cares? Like, I saw him. He saw the Morgan P. Talks studio setup, okay? The B wall, somebody called it. Someone's like, it looks like like a honeycomb. And I was like, thanks. Maybe. There's sound panels, but it was great. I was invited by Fresca Mixed. Andy's doing a partnership with them all summer long. So it was cool. We played some games, kind of like Watch What Happens Live-esque. He answered some questions, although they did have us like submit questions. And my questions were juicy and they didn't choose any of the questions. I was like, what do you think of Erica Jane meeting with the victims? Who do you think the source was for People Magazine to out Kyle and Mauricio's separation? Like, I was giving it to them, what the people want. And instead they chose the questions that are like, who's your favorite housewife? And he's like, they all are, just come on. Well, maybe in the future. I mean, the event went really well. So that was awesome. And even to just be considered is amazing. Cause sometimes in this creator economy, I don't even know if that's a word to use, but it's very easy to feel lost in the crowd, to feel overlooked, to feel like it doesn't really matter what you're doing because it seems like everybody's doing it. these days. But no, when opportunities like this come out and people recognize, you and want you to be in that Zoom with Andy Cohen, it feels really good. So thank you guys all you guys were also happy for me too. I was like, thanks. Oh my gosh, I have doubled my top of the show rant. Doubled. So let's get into the pop 3. These are the 3 biggest headlines in reality TV and pop culture. I put it off long enough. I feel like you guys are starting to get irritated with me. You're like, Morgan, come on. We know that you want to talk about this. Michael A. and Danielle. Ugh, you guys. I've been actively avoiding this with my whole entire heart because Michael and Danielle, they are in the middle of some split rumors. Now, neither of them have come out and said anything, and just lots of speculation. They haven't been seen together in a really long time, haven't been posting together. It is what it is. And, I love Michael. He's a dear friend. I love Danielle. I mean, I know I've only met her once, but lovely girl, so I just feel like it's this weird like juxtaposition where you never think about this stuff until it's people that you know and people that you care about, and it's like, oh, what do you do? It's kind of like a moral dilemma for me. So I haven't pried. I don't want to pry. I've talked to Michael about some other things, not Danielle, but here's what I will say. We all have the same gut feeling here, don't we? I mean, it's not rocket science. They live in the same place. There's really no reason for them not to be seen together in a month, There's no reason for them to not be in the same place at the same time when they are in the same place at the same time, So we wait, I would just say, obviously I don't know anything set in stone. I'm strictly going off the Instagram clues, but it's feeling very Brandon and Serene, where we all knew what was coming before they actually came out and said that it was coming. So like I said, for now we wait. I would say brace yourself for the dreaded black screen with the white text, because I feel it coming on the horizon. But you know what? This is what I'm going to say. If they do break up, we should be encouraging and uplifting to them both, okay? Because we love them. You guys, I don't want it to happen. Why do I feel like it's either going to happen or they're either in a fight? And, it's kind of a big one because it's been about a month now. Hopefully it'll work out. I mean, we've been down this road with Rachel and Matt where we said the same things, and look, they're together now. So this is either going to be a Rachel and Matt situation or a Brandon and Serene situation. Speaking of Michael A., Sierra is also dragging him through the streets, saying that his relationship with Danielle was premeditated, that he had stuff in his contract to protect him on Bachelor in Paradise, that he was DMing all of these women before Paradise. He went on his Instagram story and said something along the lines of like, what do you do when someone's constantly spreading lies about you and you have proof that they're lying and yada, yada, but I'm 39 and don't want to be, participating in these high school like games. I mean, he didn't say that, but that's pretty much the gist of it. I've heard through the grapevine, the rotary phone, that you will soon hear Michael A.'s side of that story when it comes to Sierra. And, his side of the story is that Sierra is telling some untruths and he has receipts to prove it. So stay tuned because we're going to be getting lots of Michael A. content here shortly. Let's move on to Ariana Grande and SpongeBob. His real name is Ethan Slater, but oh my gosh, you guys. Why is this episode is just one big sigh? You know what? I was trying to be nice last week too, wasn't I? But then literally as we hit the upload button to last week's podcast episode, the mess ensued. We are in some mess. What did I say about Ariana last week? I said it seems as though Ariana Grande feels that she needs to be in a relationship to be validated. Now, this was just in response to her dating history and her now being separated from Dalton Gomez. This had nothing to do with Broadway SpongeBob. But then 12 hours later, after I released the words from my mouth, a day after the divorce news came out, Ariana Grande is dating Ethan Slater, who has a wife and a child, an 11-month-old child, first of all. They're co-workers on Wicked. They've been shooting this movie together. I'm just going to say this. I'm getting really tired, and maybe this is because I'm like from Ohio and not Hollywood, and I don't understand those types of relationships. But I'm getting really tired of people disrespecting their marriages, their partnerships, their 9-year unions, you know? Am I old school for thinking you should stay loyal to your significant other before entertaining another relationship? Like, what is going on here? Where it feels like, oh, it's like, that's fine. It happens. And I know stuff does happen and people do make mistakes, but it seems like in some situations, they are pointed decisions where the infidelity is a way to get out of the relationship. And that's not right. I mean, Ariana's been telling us, break up with your girlfriend. Yeah, because I'm bored. Thank you. Next. I mean, she's been telling us for ages how she moves, but I don't think any of us ever expected that she would be with Ethan Slater, SpongeBob SquarePants, Broadway. Okay. Let's check in with Ethan's wife. So a source told TMZ that Lily J, Ethan's wife, estranged wife now, I guess, is devastated. Her family's been torn apart and feels Ethan has abandoned his family. They reportedly aren't on good terms now because she feels he has completely turned his back on his family to be with Ariana Grande. Sources tell Page Six exclusively, however, that insider's claims about Ethan Slater abandoning his family are completely untrue. Separate sources told Page Six last week that Lily was completely blindsided by the relationship, saying it's horrible. They were high school sweethearts. They have a baby. She's a wreck. So, I mean, everybody's got a different version of what went down. Here's what I know. Ariana Grande is not divorced. Here's what I know. Ethan Slater is not divorced. So why are they in a relationship? You know? Yeah, I'm too old school for these streets out there. You know what I think? I think we should give Lily J the Ariana Madix treatment. What do you like, Lily? What do you like to do? What brands are you a big fan of? You like batteries? You like taking out the trash? Paper towels, maybe? Can we get her some endorsements, please? Because she deserves it as well. All right, headline number 2 in this week's Pop 3. Guess what? Kim and Kroy are fighting again. A tale as old as time. The Kim coaster is going back up that hill, and it's going to drop once again. According to Page Six, those close to them think the reconciliation will be short-lived. Why? Because they're running their mouths. Both Kim and Kroy. And according to the source, they're not seeking counseling. So apparently they were trying to work things out, which we will say, you know, based on the rant that I just went on, good for you, Kim and Kroy, for trying to work out your marriage and not just throwing in the towel. We don't know what's happening at this current moment because obviously since then, the release of the body cam footage, there's been all these things where, you know, Kroy was saying that Kim like ran them into the ground, however many dollars in debt, which we've heard Kim has an issue with gambling. And then on the other hand, Kim is like, Kroy's not well in the head. So what else happened with Kim this week? You can catch Kim on Cash App or Zelle selling her daughter's handbags and shoes. She went on her Instagram story and was like, here's these Louis V's for $500, a limited edition bag for $10,000, Chanel purse for $7,000, Prada boots $700. She said that she was cleaning out her daughter's closet kind of without her authorization. So it's like, what's going on? Do you need money that bad? And she's like, I accept payments through Zelle or Cash App. To her 3 million followers. She also posted some of her own items, which included Louis Vuitton boots, $650, only worn once. Gucci shoes, $750. Alexander Wang boots, $450. Valentino slides, $250. I mean, the girl loves shoes. You guys, can you tell that I just have zero energy for all things Kim and Kroy at the current moment? I can't. You know why? Because next week, we're at the top of the roller coaster right now. Next week, we'll be back at the bottom. We'll be back at the bottom where it's like they're dividing their assets. I have no idea. Okay, every single week on the Instagram at Morgan P Talks, we open up the deep dive submissions. What do you want to know more about? A lot of Vanderpump Rules filming updates happened over the weekend and throughout the week. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. And I told you guys, I lied. I lied. I'll be the first to admit it. I'm coming clean. I'm coming clean. I don't know why I'm breaking out into songs so much today, but I kind of like it. It's making me feel a little bit better. Okay. So I said that I wasn't into the Vanderpump Rules filming updates. I am. Turns out I am, you know? Vanderpump Rules is just the content beast that you got to keep feeding, a la Sheena Shea. We'll get to her in a minute, but let's start with Graham. Lil Grahamster, Lil Graham Cracker, back in the arms of DJ James Kennedy. In the arms of the angel. 3 times. Okay, I'm done singing. Anyways, his name is not Graham anymore. It's Hippie. They changed his name. We have a Puppygate 2.0 situation on our hands. So here's what happened. They posted all these pictures of them in Lake Tahoe with Graham. And everybody was on social media like, Graham, Raquel's Graham, Rachel's Graham. What's going on here? Long story short, James then goes and posts on his Instagram, so happy that I have Graham back in my arms, back in the arms of the angel. I want to sing it, but I'm not going to. And we were like, oh, okay, that's strange. But then the story came out that Rachel had given Graham to a shelter because it was having behavior problems, was biting, and that Vanderpump Dogs got in the mix and gave the dog back to James. Rachel herself did not call James and say, I can't handle Graham anymore. Do you want to take him? So that was facilitated through Vanderpump Dogs Foundation. So that obviously caused a lot of uproar. Rachel's mom then goes online and says, we took Graham to Golden Doodle Ranch because he bit me to the bone. We cried a lot. It was a tough decision for us, you know, the whole thing. Golden Doodle Ranch has not confirmed or denied whether or not the ghost of Graham's doggy past was there or not. So that's storyline number 1. You know, some people have opinions about James Kennedy changing Graham's name. They're like, Graham has been through a lot, which Graham has been through a lot. That poor dog probably has no idea what's going on. Changes owners, is at the Golden Doodle Ranch, which honestly sounds like heaven on earth, if I'm being completely honest. And then goes back to James, and then they're calling him Hippie. It's like, but I call my dog like Sir Danielson, and his name is Harley, and like he answers. So I don't know. I think sooner or later Graham will get used to being called Hippie. The plot twist with Golden Doodle Ranch is that on their website it says that they don't accept any dogs with a history of aggression or biting. So if Graham, previously known as Graham, bit Rachel's mom to the bone, would they accept him at Golden Doodle Ranch? Would they let him into the pearly gates? I don't know. Conspiracy theory. There's storyline number 1 for season 11 of Vanderpump Rules, or season 12. Storyline number 2, the flippity flop of Sheena Shea. Fans were up in arms when a fan posted a picture over the weekend that had Sandoval in it, specifically next to Sheena, looking a little too close for comfort. So there was that picture with the whole cast that went to Lake Tahoe. And then Sheena also posted a video where people heard Sandoval's voice in the background. To me, the picture wasn't a big deal to me because I thought it was pretty clear, you know, that they were just posing a group picture with a fan. If you're a fan and you're walking around Lake Tahoe and you see the cast of Vanderpump Rules filming and you ask for a picture, you're not then going to turn around and say, Sandoval, can you get out? You're just not, unless you have a lot of guts. You're not going to say that. I wouldn't say that. I would just be like nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh, hi, I love the show. Can you take a picture? And then like whisper under my breath, Team Ariana. But anyways, so that wasn't a big deal to me. It was more the Instagram story that just rubbed me the wrong way, because it was just jarring to go from the reunion, specifically with Sheena. You know, Sheena took the friendship breakup with Sandoval really hard, as she should. I mean, they were friends for however many years, but then to see them all like laughing it up and like Tahoe, Tom Schwartz is in the video, you hear Sandoval in the background. It was just like, wait, what? Like, what's happening here? And of course, we know that they have to film together. I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I think it's hard because it's like you say, I wish Sheena would have done this, but in the moment, you wouldn't think of this either. But I think if you're Sheena, you should be careful about what you post because Scandal was so huge, because like I said, it is so jarring. You had to know that people aren't going to respond well to you hanging out with Tom Sandoval, even if it is for the show and even if it is for their job. So I feel like if she just didn't even post that story, it could have been avoided. But anyway, so then Sheena gets on an Amazon Live sidebar. What is the deal with Amazon Live loving Bravo celebrities? Like, no one loves a Bravo leb more than Amazon Live. Like, are they starting their own reality show from these people's closets? Every day, whether it's Sheena, Lala, Kyle Richards, Paige DeSorbo, Maya Allen. I feel like every time I open my Instagram app, a Bravo leb is on Instagram Live with Amazon Live. I mean, get the bag, but at the same time, like, what is happening? Okay, anyways, Sheena said on her Amazon Live, which is almost like second tier to Watch What Happens Live these days, but anyways, she said, I got paired with Sandoval to do this spiritual meditation healing sort of thing. She says it was very uncomfortable. Wednesday, filming was beyond the most emotionally draining day I've ever had in 11 seasons of Vanderpump Rules. My eyelashes hurt from how much I cried that day. My contacts were dry. I was congested. I felt weak in every way possible. She says, I don't like what he did to Ariana, obviously. Him and I have a really long friendship. So everyone always says, oh, Sheena, the flip-flopper. Sheena needs to have loyalty. And losing a friendship of that long has obviously been a struggle. But I'm Team Ariana. She's my girl. Okay, that's what she said. Here's my opinion on Sheena and Sandoval. Let's cut Sheena some slack. I know it's jarring to see them in the picture together. I know it's jarring to hear Tom Sandoval's grating voice in the back of that Instagram story, but she's also mourning the loss of a 10-year friendship. It's easy to be in the heat of the moment and say, I can't believe you would do something like this. I'll never forgive you. You have all that rage inside of you, but that rage fades. And then you're kind of in the sadness portion of grieving. And I mean, she is grieving the loss of this friendship. And then you have to be around this person constantly because you're filming a reality TV show, which they should be filming together. If Sheena and Sandoval and everybody else is not filming together, you're going to have the most boring season of Vanderpump Rules ever. You want to relive season 9? Snooze fest? No, I don't think so. But I think it's probably easy for Sheena to slide back into that friendship when the cameras are rolling because that's what she's known for the past 10 years because that is the comfortability level that she's had with Sandoval. I mean, obviously, all of us agree that Sheena's loyalty is to Ariana. And I think she believes that too. And I think she lives that too. But obviously, the lines get blurry when your job is to be in the same vicinity as this person. I remember I interviewed Stassi before her wedding in Italy. And I asked her, I said, how on earth do you stay friends with all your exes? And she's like, I don't recommend it. And the only real reason that I'm friends with Jax, we were talking about Jax, is because we're on the show together. And I feel like that mending of the relationship is kind of similar, not to what we're seeing now between Sheena and Sandoval, because I don't believe that they're close friends, but could be their trajectory just because of the world that they live in, the reality TV world that they live in, where they're always forced to be around each other. You know, Stassi and Jax, for however toxic they were 10 years ago, they formed a pretty solid friendship at one point. She's like, I wouldn't recommend it. I had to be around him. And over time, the feelings of hurt and betrayal went away as we both moved forward with our lives in a positive way. So will that happen with Scheana and Sandoval? I mean, to be determined. I think at some level, it's healthy to give forgiveness and to be cordial. Now, should they be BFF? No, because her BFF is Ariana, period. Lala is also saying that Scheana's going to be in trouble for sharing that little tidbit because she pretty much gave us a whole scene of Vanderpump Rules. And now we have that. We have Graham, the whole situation. It's like we have the first 4 episodes and we watched it on Instagram. Also, according to Lala, the spinoff starts this week. So that's Kristen Doty, Brittany, Jax. At first I was excited about this spinoff, but I've kind of started to lose a little bit of interest just because I don't really care what those 3 are doing on their own. I care what they're doing in correlation to Sandoval. Like I want to see Jax Taylor just rip Tom Sandoval a new one. I really do. But will we get that in this spinoff? I don't know. Like I don't want to see him changing Cruz's diapers. No offense. But we'll see. Meanwhile, a hot new bombshell enters the villa. Ariana doesn't care about any of this. She doesn't care about any of this. She's in Fiji, hosting dates on Love Island, making the bag. So she's good. She's good. If she's good, we're good. All right, you guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much to everybody who reviewed the podcast last week. It made my day. So many 5-star reviews. I mean, not to toot my horn or anything, but the show is great. So give it a 5-star review. If you love me like a sis, takes 5 seconds. Don't forget to subscribe to Papa Batch. Subscribe to Extra Papa Batch on Friday, where we recap charity season. Another great episode to recap this week. And also other Bachelor Nation headlines. Greg and Victoria, Sean Booth and his baby mama. And then Extra Pop on Monday. The link is in the show notes below. Have a fantastic rest of your week. As always, love you like a sis. See you next time.